Welcome to Marsh Motorsports and Farming channel. This video will be for the July channel update. You know, and basically a general update that I've been, trying to do once a month, and lately I've been able to get one in every month. So let me start off by saying that around here, or around the Twin Cities area where I'm at, or I'm actually west of that area, but we've basically been experiencing the worst job of weather forecasting in a long time. Because first they were saying maybe a day or two of off and on popcorn type rain systems, which I was at the hay job both days and got it all cut, and then we were supposed to be clear for a while now, including today, which obviously, as you'll see in a little bit here, that's not necessarily the case. So you wouldn't see it, that glazy look, or water puddles in that spot, if that were the case. We ended up getting a half-inch of rain today, and that was basically two different storms. And the first storm happened just after lunch, and then it looked like we weren't supposed to get the second one today, and if it did at all, it would wait until later, or like pretty much after dark. But instead, I run over to the hay job site with my pickup truck, and then I'm driving home with the tractor and disc mower, as you see sitting here now. And then after a mile or two towards home here, I end up driving this open tractor home in a freaking rainstorm, and I even had a raincoat on, and I was so drenched. I mean, you guys can imagine how frustrating that was for me. I held the hood up over my head and with the raincoat, because there was wind with the storm as well. I had one hand on the steering wheel of this tractor, and then the other one holding my hood up so that the wind wouldn't blow it off and get drenched in my face. That's basically why I did that. But I ended up getting this tractor home from the hay job as a drowned rat, basically, would be another way to say it. The only reason you're seeing the ratchet strap on the disc mower here is because by putting that on there, it ensured that it stayed completely upright like you see it now. Whereas if I wouldn't have put that on there, then it would have fallen to the right of the tractor a little bit, and might have been just enough to, to stand more of a risk of traffic issues. Whereas this way, when it's straight up, it's doesn't cover any additional area that the tractor doesn't. So it's right in line with the tractor, and I was basically able to not need any more area because I strapped the disc more upright like this. So I was able to get a couple videos made of me at the hay job cutting, so, and which are both up. So the next thing there would be for me to get this disc more unhooked, hook on to that rake, and refuel this tractor, and head back over there, and then this tractor can sit over there with the rake until that part's ready to go. So yeah, the extended forecast right now does not look ideal for being able to rake, but hopefully they're wrong for once on that, or at least from what I've seen. There's only one news station here that puts percentages on their weathercasts, and I'll have to try to watch that cast and get a feel, for how likely we are to get rain on the days that the other stations say that there is a chance. Because what we need now is a good 4 days, I'd say. Make sure that we can get that all raked up and baled without any further damage. So far, a majority of the hay that I cut at the hay job should still be either reasonable or good quality yet. Yeah, so that first little area that I cut when I first took this tractor and disc mower over there is, got the worst of it, but there too, that is not a very big area, as you saw in the first video I did over there of cutting. And I did not go towards the water at all, and at that one spot of the second field there. So if you would even just with the small amount of rain that we got while I had this tractor and disc mower over there, might have been just enough to make it soft enough to, or I might get stuck in there and be screwed. But there was kind of a slope there, grassy slope that I was able to cut, and in a few places I cut at least a couple places I was able to cut multiple swaths, away from the seeded field, and the ground was still stable enough to hold the tractor and everything. So, and I did cut the roadside last night. That was a very last thing that I did, that's kind of the grand finale for cutting at the hay job. You know, I got that roadside cut, but there was a fair amount of traffic on that road, so I didn't dare, you know, cut all the way up to the road. You know, just to make sure that there was no risk of traffic, but although at the same time it would have been nice, but that is on a county road, and a lot of times the county will come along and cut a swath with their equipment, and so when they do cut there, then they can cut that little bit that I didn't. I'll try to show that in an upcoming video, but for what I'm talking about there. But anyway, that I did park this tractor on a slope, you know, to keep the tension off of the ratchet strap when I go to take it off, and then I can let it fold down and start the process of getting this disc more unhooked. That's one step right there that I just did, pulling that little jack stand down. But yeah, not only am I in the middle of the hay job now, but basically, the very first field I cut is ready to be cut again. And yeah, I can walk back there and I'll let you guys see it. And yeah, there's also a whole nother farm that I haven't been to yet for the hay, which it's hard to say as well as it's been this year. You know, whether I'll be able to even get that cut, just because, you know, most of the ground that I have over there is, you know, known to be, you know, lower tight ground, and you know, water doesn't leave there quite as fast as some of the other ground I have. Well, of course, a fair amount of what I do is roadside, so yeah, that's all just slope, and then excess water will just run down to the lowest point that it can find, and not have an impact on being able to access it at any point as far as getting hay made from there. Yeah, the very first small square baling video that I did, there might be water where I was doing that. I haven't tried to walk in there lately. Yeah, you can hear the water coming out of that culvert. There's a bunch of grass in the way, so I can't show you that with the camera. And then, as you can probably tell here, the crops are struggling a little bit this year. Primarily because of how wet things have been. I'd say planting was at least a month behind this year compared to a normal year. And we still had wet spots to grow around. Okay, I'm close to the first hayfield I cut now. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do a little crop updating like I did a little bit ago there, as well as a general update. And then yeah, there will be more videos coming from the hay job yet. Looking to do at least 2 more. One while I'm raking and one while I'm round baling. And then here's what I was talking about here. This right here is the very first field I cut this year, and as you guys can tell, it's ready to be cut a second time. So that'll be on the list once the weather cooperates again, and it'd be best if I'm able to get that hay job done first. And then once the hay job's done, then I'll get back to cutting this and some more of my own hay again. Now the wheat, on the other hand, is heading out now, so that's a sign that it's starting to get close. And I know there's, the 2 of the other fields are like that, that all got planted in the same ballpark, but that last one I did, I haven't seen it there yet, but it's hard to say if that's going to head later or if I'm going to have to try to harvest the crop that has a super short stem on it. I don't know. I guess I've never been faced with a situation like that, having to plant wheat that late. Yeah, I still have to service the big square baler yet. I'll try to get you a video on that. And like I said before, there'll be at least 2 videos coming from the hay job yet. And then I'll do a cutting video for sure. Right on that field, the very first one I cut. hopefully I'll be able to get you a cutting video while I'm using the disc bind this time around. And yeah, the small square baling on the roadsides, we ran into a little trouble after that was done, which I'll show you once I'm able to get to it. And then Dad and I busted our tails getting the brown baler fixed up. I'll show you that as well. They're both in the, both of those things are in the big shed. And while I'm headed down that way, I'll highlight the motorsports aspect of the channel. The videos are all up from all of the tractor pulls I've been to so far this year. There will be more coming with the type of vehicles that you saw in the last 4 videos. Well, not all of them necessarily, but you know, what some know as the big boys, you know, the ones that do not necessarily look like stock vehicles in any way. As the county fairs start coming around, there'll be poles with those guys in them. But they will not be sanctioned by the NTPA like that last one was that I recorded at. Instead, it's basically a statewide polling league in Minnesota that those same type of vehicles also participate in. You know, the poll I filmed a week ago was a NTPA Grand National event, and whereas the ones that are coming up close to here yet are, like I say, the vehicles will be similar to some of what you saw, but it's more of a, you know, it's more of a statewide league that, you know, they still have to they still have to follow the same rules as the NTPA, but just that the NTPA doesn't necessarily sanction the local polls. Okay, now we can go back to farming for a little bit, because now I am in the big shed, and as you can see, this hay rack that the baler kicked the bales onto has a jack sitting under it. And that is because somehow a board came away from the running gear framework basically, and allowed this tire to rub on the rack itself, and then so much of that, and then towards the end it just exploded. So that'll have to get fixed before we use that thrower rack again. And this is one of those situations where it's fairly dark inside the shed, and not quite that way outside just yet, but there, now I think you guys can somewhat tell, but Dad and I busted our tails off here. My brother did a little bit too, but you know, the teeth on that very outside there were all missing. So we had to put 8 single teeth in there. It's a special type of tooth that is designed for the specific type of pickup that this baler has. But we replaced those, or as many as we could find that were completely broke, and then a couple of the guides that help to stop the hay from wrapping up into the pickup and that type of thing. You know, a couple of those were junk. So we pulled those off and put new ones on, a couple of them. And then I will have to go over to an old demolition derby vehicle I have, so that I can show that to you. You know how bad those really were. I hope I can pinpoint them, because that was one of the last things I threw in here. Oh, here we go. So here, you can tell by looking at it this way how bent and twisted and everything that they are. And then the other one's basically no different. And there too, you can tell how bent and twisted it is. Probably part of, you know, definitely connected with the teeth breaking. I mean, as you can see here that this tooth has a decent shape to it yet, but the mount broke off and just kept dangling on the bar that mounts onto, basically. Just kind of spinning around, dangling there, and not being able to pick anything up. You know, they were all pretty much like that, and on that side, so we put we put all new teeth on that very outside there. So yeah, so once I'm able to cut that fuel again that I did the first time, then should hopefully be able to get you some video footage using this disc mine. And then there's the rake that I have to hook onto after I unhook the disc mower. And then I'll take the tractor with this rake back over to the hay job, and then once things are ready to go again, it'll be over there. My pickup is sitting at the hay job right now because obviously, like I said at the beginning of the video, I ended up having to drive in the rain getting this disc mower home, which I certainly was not counting on that. You know, the way things were looking as far as the sky and all that. But being it's starting to get dark, and I'll have to leave that pickup at the hay job site overnight. And then tomorrow I'll get the disc mower unhooked and hook onto that rake that I just showed you and refill it with diesel fuel and head back over there with this tractor and the hay rake, and then bring my pickup back home. And now I'll go back to Motorsports to wrap up the update here. In a week or so, that race that I talked about a couple of times already. It's Off-Road Nationals, what they're calling it, but I'll have to look what kind of details there are to it and see if I'm able to get there for it, and if I can get there for it, then see how many, I'll be able to determine at that point how many videos I'll be able to make of that. It's different than the 2 races in June that I did at that location, and there will be a 3rd race like I've been recording at the end of this month again. In which round 2 of the last one that they had there, I believe it's 9 of the 14 videos that I got. Yeah, I was able to make 14 videos over there, and pretty sure I got 9 of them up now. And the reason there's 14 rather than 15 is because when it came to the finals, they decided this time around to run the compact trucks and full-size trucks together, whereas the first time they still ran them separate for the final. We got the first 2 races, and they still ran separate. One of the trucks this time around ran in both classes, so you probably noticed that already just from the first race of every heat, you know, that I have put up from the second round. And yeah, there should only be one more race 2 video from that day to go up, and then 4 final videos. So yeah, that sounds right. To have 9 out of 14 up. And then this past Sunday, I attended a demolition derby that happened to have a autocross race incorporated into it. So that's what that one autocross video is from. Autocross Long Prairie, Minnesota. That race was incorporated into a day of demolition derby. There's one more show like that coming up in a couple weeks. I'm not sure if I'll go or not, but if I do, then I'll be sure to get the autocross recorded again, like I did for you guys this past weekend. So as I'm able to go to these different races and tractor pulls, I'll get as much video footage as I can. Like I talked about earlier, what some call the big boys, you know, the vehicles that don't look completely stock, and you know, there's a few of those pulls coming up. I think mostly in August, but I think there is one at the end of July. I'll have to look and verify that. Because I know there is at least one county fair in July, or you know, and that's what I want to verify, is that you know, to be sure whether there's a tractor pull advertised as part of that fair or not. And then again, I know in August at local county fair, there's, you know, they've always had one night of the big boys like I talked about, and then the second night is the more out of field stuff, like the first 2 pulls that I recorded this year. Actually, the first 3 pulls make that. Well, the third one was mostly on the antique side, but you know, but hopefully you guys still enjoyed the 6 videos that I made at that pull. You know, the more 2-cylinder, 4-cylinder type tractors. So yeah, I will get more racing and tractor pulling recorded for you guys as I'm able to. And then same way with the farming, and I'll get video footage of, you know, different field work, making hay, you know, as much as I can. Like I said earlier in this video, I am for sure looking to do at least 2 more videos from the hay job. And once the weather conditions and the condition of the hay allow me to continue on that. And I guess I don't know if anything more that I have for you guys right now. Other than that, we are pretty much into demolition derby season, and that I hope to be able to talk about that stuff over on Demolition Derby for Life. 'Cause I have been in contact with him, and sounds like he still is gonna try and make an effort to come out here and help me get stuff built again, and hopefully he can bring his camera along a time or two and get some video footage for his channel of my vehicles. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this channel update here, the monthly channel update that like I've been doing. And actually, one more thing that I should mention is that we have been having trouble throughout the spring and summer getting this 3020 diesel started. And Dad in recent days has been playing around with different things, trying to figure out what is actually going on. Tried putting new batteries in this, that didn't help. And then we had a little trouble with smoke coming from the battery area, and me and him together discovered that it was one of the ground cables that was doing that. So we got that replaced, so shouldn't see smoke coming from the battery area anymore. Yeah, the new batteries didn't help, so I'm thinking he's just going to return those batteries to the place that he got them from. And then with knowing that the batteries are good and cables drawing from them are good, he was able to come down here and hot start it. So he determined that the solenoid might be bad. So we'll have to try to look for a solenoid for this and see if we can replace just that, rather than, you know, pulling the starter along off with it, because the two tend to come as a complete unit. So So there you go. There's a July channel update for you. I'm starting to get bit by bugs here, so time to get inside then. So I will bring you more video footage of races, tractor pulls, and farm related stuff as I'm able to. So thank you guys for watching my videos. I certainly appreciate it. Be sure to hit the like button, and if you haven't already, be sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you later.